Pound dollar, it is coming up into our level that we looked at this whole week. We've been watching for that. We have the pound news happening now as we speak, about to hit. Let's see whether we can complete this picture. Welcome guys, this is Technical Thursday. My name is Dima. As always, let's continue with the charts where we left over this week, Sunday and Tuesday. Earlier on, I've got our short list here for the week as well. Let's go through that and see whether we have any trades. Okay, starting with the calendar first of all, as usual. Here are the events for today. We have Thursday, 2nd of November. The main news today will be, of course, the pound official rate, monetary policy. We have had already some CAD news, dollar news. They have the FOMC that happened, and then later today we will also have, well, not later today, just in a bit, we will have some dollar news, and then towards the end of the day, the SMB chairman speech. But we don't have any Swiss pairs for this week, and of course tomorrow is NFP. We're gonna have to approach this a little bit more caution. Let's see where the market takes us. And with that word of warning, let's begin with the dollar. As always, this is what we had marked out, and if you were with me on Tuesday, the idea was so. We did have FOMC, which dragged the market lower. There was a word of caution which mentioned twice this week about the news, and here we go. We've got a gap, we've got a run down lower, and we may hit this invalidation point. Now, what do we do from here? Well, we may not need to do anything because the market is just not telling us what it wants to do. We have not had a break and close above this level. We have not invalidated this point, so we are kind of in a no man's land situation. It's neither here nor there, and these are the low probability scenarios. And the the dollar is showing uncertainty in inverted commas at the moment, meaning no high probability ideas so far. Let's see whether this level that we had a couple of weeks back will still be respected, reflected, and bounced off, or whatever word you want to use. We shall see, but we will have to analyze that probably next week on Sunday if we have the market move in here and then range in here and doesn't invalidate it this low. Right now, so far, we've got nothing until the dollar sets its direction. That looks more likely to happen tomorrow because of the NFP news. Keeping that in mind, let's go to the pound dollar, which is the inverse. We had our level marked out here. Let's look on the lower time frame. Here it is. We're stepping into it. We are now going to have news, the pound rate. And what does this mean? Well, are we going to get a reaction off here, or are we going to go higher and invalidate? Double bits of news. We've got pound today and we've got NFP, which is dollar, tomorrow, which is wise to be extra careful. Now, if there is a very clear, solid reaction off here, that will be an idea. However, the safer bet will be a break of the last structure and better price continuing down because the bias is still to the downside. If we get the opposite and we get this high cleared, then the next idea on, but that will be next week, will be something like this, because then we will be breaking a major structural point and more likely to head to the upside. So let's see what happens. This is a big fat range, just like with the dollar. So right now not clear, but we are watching this area and seeing what happens. Okay, dollar CAD, this was a bullish one as well. Let's have a look at what happened the last couple of days since we last met here. We had this reaction, which is a great reaction, went higher, and when you see this happens, as you move higher, you really want to secure your trade, and hopefully you did. If not, That would be a good lesson. And this is what happens. We had a clear, very, very sharp reversal back down, breaking this low, and it stands to reason that if you made use of this opportunity, the trade would have closed at break even at that point. Now we're heading lower, and we've got this next invalidation point. Again, just like the dollar, again, we're in a range. Again, it's messy. It's just not worth looking at anymore. We've had our opportunity, we've had our reaction, we've had our idea here, and that failed. So be it. Now we have to reassess, and the reassession will come after an FP. Right now, not wise to look at anything. Maybe this level that we looked at previously will be respected. Let's see what the market does from there. At the moment, again, just like the dollar, it's a range not really worth looking at. We will see later on if we get something like this happening, or if we get a complete breakdown and then we're heading lower. So far it's too unclear, too low probability to tell, so not going to be thinking about this one any longer. And that's that, adjusting to what the market gives us. That's the dollar CAD. Let's go to euro pound. Again, euro pound. We have the bullish preference, and we had this level marked, and we had our invalidation marked. What did we get? Well, we got a invalidation, and then the market ran higher. Now the question becomes, what do we do from here? As you can see, by the way, click a like on this video or post your own charts if you have a link, and we can discuss those. What do we see here? Well, this is also a big fat range. Now that we have come into a level, we have chopped up, we have seemingly reversed off this low. However, what we don't see is we don't see a clear direction. If we go to the daily, at the moment this candle is bullish. However, we haven't closed the day. We just have this level which the market seems to be reacting from and likes to be reacting from. The question is, with the pound news as well, are we going to go lower or are we going to head higher? How to read this? Well, it's two ways. Of course, we're going to look at both scenarios, alternatives. This level was marked out, we pierced through it and ran lower. Then from now, the next way to look at it would be what happens at this level. If we break through it again, pull back to a better price, get a better price, and then continue higher. That would be one scenario. And the other scenario would be if we break back through this invalidation point, then the next idea would be the downside. And at the moment, because we don't have either, really want to see it set a direction and then look at what the market wants to do. For now, it's a bit too early to tell, and it would be wise to, for now, stay away from that. As you can see, we're still bullish. Maybe there's a reversal, maybe not. Maybe we'll break the high, maybe not. Maybe this level will hold, maybe not. Essentially, it's kind of a neither here nor there situation, which is why we want to see, especially with this kind of choppy market, for it to take its set, and the daily picture, the daily candles will be strong confirmations or strong directional clues for where the market wants to go next. Okay, yep, don't want to be trading in a range. We are making the most of continuation setups, trends, and that's how we do it here. Okay, Euro New Zealand, we had a bullish bias, and what did we get? Well, we had a low here, we had a low here, the market ran higher just for a short period of time and then broke back down. So that was a failure. That was invalidation here marked out, which we ran through, and that's that. And what do we have next? Well, let's go back to the daily. We're going to see that we are still in a higher time frame uptrend. This level, well, are we going to do anything on this level? What will happen? I don't know. So is this a retracement down like an impulse retracement and continue higher. Perhaps it is. At the moment, it's not quite clear because we have not had a reversal. So what does that mean? Maybe you can guess. It means we'll wait. Let's look at the weekly. There we are on the weekly. And the wiser thing to do would be, as I said earlier, to wait for the daily idea, a daily structure, a daily swing, until we get that push back higher. For now, we have nothing, and therefore it's kind of pointless to look at the lower time frames as well, because there's nothing to show us either direction, neither here nor there, keeping in mind the bullish momentum. However, we are in this retracement phase until we get, if we're going to see anything, at the moment we have no invalidation. Let's get rid of that. What we want to see is a very strong push up, coming back, and then continuing higher. And that level, the next level we see, the next area I should say, is here. Let's see if this happens. I do want to see a very clear close, strong close, and then something like so. But it's still too early to tell. And again, the probabilities will kind of be there. They're still kind of there, but not high enough. This is a higher risk place to buy from because we have not got any sign yet, or I should say not a clear sign of a continuation to the upside. So that's the Euro New Zealand, another one to leave to the side. Euro CAD, more or less the same thing. The idea was to buy, and the opportunity was there at the beginning of the week. Now we've broken through this invalidation and continuing higher. You can see this choppiness, and therefore the probabilities have reduced. And in fact, since we are neither here nor there, it's the same thing as Euro New Zealand. We have got a range, if I could mark this out for you, until we have some more clarity about where the market is going. It seems that we're still got this level. That's interesting because we've not broken through it, and now we're heading higher. But the question is, what is going to happen at this line, at this zone? Are we going to go lower or higher? So here's the scenario. Let's try it again. Option A. If we break back down below, then we head lower. And if we break back above, we head higher, which is still the case since Tuesday. And as that's the case, let's stick with it until the price action tells us otherwise. Again, the daily picture, daily candles are much more preferable. They do tell you a cleaner story, and they're better to gauge the market from. Just speaking from experience, you may have found otherwise. Of course, this is an opinion, a kind of educational video. Do make your own decisions and manage your risk. Okay, patience. This is a game of patience. This is one of those things. Let's go to the next one, which is Aussie New Zealand. I mentioned a couple of days back on Tuesday's video that Aussie New Zealanders want to stay away from because we have reached these levels. We've not come back down and reached lower. Therefore, we can expect there to be uncertainty, a bit of choppy behavior, and this is what we've got on these levels here. What we wanted to see was a clearance of these levels, which we have not had yet. Let's have a look on the daily. We've not quite had it, just one candle here breached. Let's see if we do go higher or not. At the moment, because of the heavy news week and because of the level where we're at, I would just be cautious here. And again, this is one to step aside because we're neither here nor there. Are we going to break through it? Are we not? There's news. Will news create more volatility and uncertainty? There's no clear place to place our invalidation. There's these swings. It's hesitating to go higher. There's no clear big bullish price action like we had on these type of candles. And that's why I would say that this is a lower probability scenario. And what do we have? Still got this level to watch, which we have not reached. So neither here nor there. Let's wait for the market to do its thing, to tell us its direction, and then we will assess it. We just poked through this high. We're coming back down. We don't have any clear levels to look at. We don't have any clear, we've got these lows here, but which one do we use? It's not very obvious at the moment. And that's why stepping aside for now, and that's part of the skill of being a trader, knowing when to engage and when to step aside. And most of the time, we don't do anything until the market shows its hand and we have our plan in place and we trade our plan. Right, finally the S&P. Well, it's quite clear that this zone is where we watched for. We reached into it and went right through it. It looks like we are about to invalidate it, and the whole idea does not stand. And because of that, there's nothing to look at right here. So let's get rid of this level. There was just nothing to do here, no reaction. It's a brief wick here to the upside. The candle still closed more bullish than when it opened. Therefore, no reversal here. What do we do next? Well, if we're going to invalidate this area, let's go to the higher time frame and see what we've got. Well, what is the market reaching for? We've got a high, we've got a low, and we've got a halfway mark, and therefore this area now becomes the expensive price point. Let's move this. Let's just do that again. This now becomes the expensive price point, and therefore it will still be a good possible idea in this area as you can see with this area or zone, whatever you want to call it, as a possible area to trade from. We're reaching into it, we've invalidated, and now the next invalidation point would be the high. Next consideration, let's see what the market wants to tell us. We do have NFP, of course, and if we get some kind of reaction from this level, the next idea would be like so. Continuation to the downside, because we are still bearish. Looking at the weekly, you can see bearish, bearish, bearish. We've taken out the high of last week. However, this is the significant high, which we don't want to break. If we do break that, we will be back bullish. However, not yet. We've invalidated the first idea, as the market has told us, just adapting to it, and now we are reaching higher and higher right before NFP. And let's see where the market will take us from this area. And this will be an interesting, good price to trade from, a good price to look to engage, because we have a high price point, we have a good risk to reward scenario, big distance away, and we have a good entry point. Yeah, that's it. I mean, all the factors are kind of coming into place here. This becomes a very interesting idea to look at. And we haven't reached the targets that we set out, just missed it. Therefore, still going to look at that as a possible place to go into. Right then, that is the market for today, Thursday, and for this week. As you can see, lots of uncertainty points, lots of places, lots of charts that we need to wait for and be even more patient. If you haven't traded this week, that's okay. Sometimes the whole week can go by without engaging in it. So it is. That's just how it goes. It happens like that, and we just adapt. No fear of missing out, right? Plenty of more opportunities every single week that we crack on with these videos and the markets. Thanks guys for watching. I shall see you on Sunday. Watch out for the news today. Watch out for NFP, of course. Expect there to be volatility. And if there isn't, then there just isn't. We will reassess on Sunday at the beginning of the week. Bye for now, and see you on the next video.